All right. Welcome to the first mindfulness class with me, Oliver Jane Jorgensen, through the Penn Memory Center. This is the first class of 10, and today we're going to focus on an introduction to mindfulness. The agenda for today is to first go over community standards. I'm going to then introduce myself to give you an idea of who I am and what my background is. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about mindfulness to give us some context of where these practices come from and why we practice them. Then we're going to spend about 5 minutes practicing together. After that, we'll spend about 2 minutes in silent self-reflection. Then we'll spend 8, maybe 10 minutes, depending on time, practicing another practice together. Then we will spend another 2 minutes in silent self-reflection. And then we'll end class having a discussion. We will have that discussion based on some questions I've provided. And it is also an opportunity for folks to talk about their experience in the class and provide any feedback. Okay, we're going to dive right in. So, community and participant standards. Let's work together to cultivate a tranquil space, to reduce as many distractions as possible so we can help one another use this time to learn and de-stress. To do this, I will mute everyone's microphone. Feel free to leave your camera on or off based on what makes you feel comfortable and able to participate. If you are comfortable, please leave the camera on. This is so that if, say, you're having any difficulties doing the practices, leaving the camera on allows me to observe what you are all doing and identify any modifications I might need to suggest to individuals or to the whole group. As mentioned, I will mute everyone. Please only unmute yourself if you have a question during the designated discussion times. This is to preserve a tranquil environment for everyone. I'm requesting that you try to do the practices as best you can and hold your questions until the designated discussion times. When we practice, I want to encourage you to find the most comfortable position to practice. This can be either seated or laying down. And also, you want to ensure that though you are in the most comfortable position, you are also able to remain awake. Some good props to use to support your body are travel neck pillows, couch pillows, yoga blocks, also yoga bolsters if you have them, small pillows like little ornamental pillows. If you want to use bed pillows and put them on the ground or on your couch, they can be great supports as well. So maybe you might practice in a chair or seated on your couch if you'd like to be seated. Maybe you'd be practicing on the floor if you'd like to lay down. If you, say, have a wall behind you while you're seated, which is what I recommend, you can place a support like a yoga block or pillow behind your mid-back. Or maybe if you are seated either on a couch or chair, maybe you place a travel neck pillow around your neck. And if there is a wall behind your couch or chair, maybe you place a pillow between the back of your head and the wall. If you're laying down, maybe you put some props underneath your knees so that your knees bend. And maybe you fold a blanket and place this underneath your head. I will demonstrate this just very quickly after we go over community and participant standards. If you need to log off for any reason, please feel free to do so. If you need to log off, I encourage you to log back on and rejoin the class before the class ends at 2 p.m. Okay, so before we go over who I am, I'm just going to go over props really quickly. This will be very quick. So what I'm going to recommend, if you are using the floor, you can take something like a folded blanket. I'll put myself on an angle just so you can see. And you can place that underneath your head. And then maybe you would take something like a bolster and you place that underneath your knees. So put myself on an angle just so you can see. And then I would lay down with this supporting my neck and my head. For some people, a blanket folded this low is not enough support. So maybe you need 2.5 inches of support. That is also acceptable. And then of course, if you want to really relax and you think you will not fall asleep, you can take a clean washcloth or kitchen towel and place that over the eyes. This is if you are laying down. If you are seated, what I would recommend is taking something like, I have these cute little ornamental tiny little pillows. This one says, "Life began in a garden." You can place things like this or folded blankets between, these are my shoulder blades, and the back of your couch or the back of your chair, so that we can move towards having the spine be straight. So I can put this on my mid back. I would probably put it long ways just so that I can let my shoulder blades really relax down my back. So maybe this would be between myself and my chair or myself and my couch. And then if there was a wall behind you, you could take something like a pillow like this and place it between your head and the wall. Also, if you use something like a travel neck pillow, this can be a really great way to help support your neck so that you can find a little bit more relaxation in a seated posture, in a chair, on your couch. And also, mine is shaped in such a way that I can actually put it behind my head, between my head and a wall, so that it supports both my neck and the back of my head. These props are to help us find a little bit more relaxation in the body while the spine is straight. I will now say that if having the spine straight doesn't feel comfortable and isn't possible, I want you to not worry about that. I want you to find a position for practice where you can be your most relaxed. And I want you to use any props you may have on hand, pillows, folded blankets, whatever it is, to support your body so that you feel comfortable. This is the major goal, because we want to use this time to really relax the system as much as possible. So while I'm talking, feel free to gather any props and find anything that will help support your practice. Oh, one more thing I will say is that if, say, you want to be seated and you also want to have an eye covering to sort of reduce light and reduce any distractions during your practice, you can take something like a clean kitchen towel and just place that over the head. I probably look very silly, but you can place it over the head and just make sure you're not covering your nose or your mouth so that you can breathe. Okay. All right. So we're going to jump back into the slideshow. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so who am I? My name is Oliver Jane Jorgensen, and my pronouns are they, them. I am a graduate student at the University of Pennsylvania studying social work and nonprofit leadership. I am also a yoga therapist accredited by the International Association of Yoga Therapists, with a lot of experience teaching mindfulness, yoga, yoga nidra, and meditation to many people of varying ages and abilities. I trained within a very special lineage. It's very special to me. The yoga tradition of Krishnamacharya as taught by his son, TKV Desikachar. As a yoga therapist, I focus primarily on using the tools of yoga to support and improve physical and psychological wellness. My role at the Penn Memory Center is that I am a social work intern. And I am really grateful for this opportunity to teach this class and to get to meet all of you and to meet some of you in this context as well as in the sort of social work context at the Penn Memory Center. Okay, so we're going to talk about mindfulness. What is mindfulness? Mindfulness and mindfulness meditation is drawn from primarily Hinduism and Buddhism. Notable teachers are Thich Nhat Hanh, the Dalai Lama, and a lot of very famous yoga teachers, just like T. Krishnamacharya. The contemporary secular presence in Western science is often attributed to Jon Kabat-Zinn. The purpose of mindfulness is to connect us to our feelings, thoughts, surroundings, and bodily sensations. It can bring us out of our heads away from thinking and towards being fully engaged in the present, or rather, what is in front of us. Mindfulness can reduce our experience of stress and create an internal feeling of peace. So Jon Kabat-Zinn says that mindfulness isn't about getting somewhere else. It's about being where you are and knowing it. Another very popular, well-known spiritual teacher who teaches mindfulness, Tara Brach, says that mindfulness is the key to everything. When we're mindful, we can see clearly and make decisions that are in alignment with our intentions and values. Okay, so we're going to begin with our first mindfulness practice. Before we begin practicing together, I'm just going to explain this practice so that you can decide for yourself what your body would like to do today. So for this practice, we're going to do a little bit of gentle movement paired with intentional breathing. On our inhales, we're going to simply open both arms out to our sides, like we're expanding our wings. And then as we exhale, we're going to bring our hands back around and just simply rest our arms and hands into our laps. This is very simple. As we do this, we're going to inhale for a count of 4 and exhale for a count of 4. If you feel like this is too much and you don't feel like your body would like to move in this way today, what I'm going to suggest is that you rest your hands in your lap. And on an inhale, we're going to simply open our hands wide, expanding and stretching our fingers. And then on an exhale, draw the fingers back inward, making loose fists with your hands. We're going to do all of this in a seated position. You can be either on your couch or on a chair, whatever is comfortable. And as I said, the goal is to inhale for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4. However, if breathing in this way is not comfortable in your body today, feel free to take extra breaths. With that said, I'm going to encourage you to do your best to try to stay with me in the breathing. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you can see me. So find yourself in a comfortable seated position. Maybe you are seated on your couch or on a chair. I'd like to encourage you to scoot to sit towards the front edge of your whatever it is you're seated on. The feet are flat on the ground and your hands are resting in your lap. Maybe you close your eyes, or maybe you find a soft gaze on the floor, 5 or 6 feet in front of you. I want you, before we begin, to just allow yourself to be here. Maybe you draw your awareness towards your body and your breathing. Maybe you notice areas of tension in the body and encourage softness into those areas. Invite the space between your eyebrows to soften. Invite the back of your neck to soften and be long. Invite your shoulder blades to descend towards the ground. All right, we're going to begin moving and breathing together. So on an inhale, I'd like for you to simply begin opening your arms out to the sides. And as you inhale, you're going to stretch your hands in opposite directions. Exhale, you're going to slowly return your hands to rest in your lap. Beautiful. We're going to do that again on a count of 4. Inhale for 4, reaching the arms out to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pausing for a moment. Exhale for 4, release your hands into your lap. 4, 3, 2, 1. Gorgeous. Let's do that again. Inhale for 4, slow the movement down to match the length of the breath. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Gorgeous. Exhale, release your arms. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing just for a moment. Let's do this again. Inhale for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe we pause at the top to just feel the stretching of our chest opening. Exhale, release your hands into your lap. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, maybe you're just opening the hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stretching the fingers or the arms are wide out to the sides. Exhale, release the hands into the lap or close the fingers. 4, 3, 2, 1. Gorgeous. Let's do this again. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Feel the broadening of the collarbones, the broadening of the chest. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pausing just for a moment. Inhale, open the arms or stretch your fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Feeling this nice stretch, this opening in your hands or this broadening across the chest. Exhale, release the hands into the lap. Close the fingers. 4, 3, 2, 1. Loose fists, no tension. Let everything be soft. Inhale, open the arms or open the fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Feel the stretch. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause just for a moment. Let everything be soft. Let's do this again. Inhale for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Let's do one more round. Inhale for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale slowly. Exhale slowly. Letting your body be soft. Noticing the effect of that technique. Maybe keeping the eyes closed. Maybe softly opening the eyes. We're going to take a moment to silently reflect. My first question is, how do you feel after this exercise? What was easy? And what was challenging? What were you thinking about during the exercise? Okay. So to give us an idea about why we sometimes include breathing into our mindfulness practice, I've provided a quote by Thich Nhat Hanh. He says that breath is the bridge which connects life to consciousness, which unites your body, excuse me, to your thoughts. Whenever your mind becomes scattered, use your breath as a means to take hold of your mind again. All right, so now we're going to move into our second mindfulness practice. I'm going to encourage you now to find a comfortable seat or a position for rest where you will not fall asleep. So maybe laying down on the ground or seated in a chair on a couch. This is the moment where if you have any props you want to use to support your body, find those props, gather them together, strategically place them in the areas that are asking for some support, and make yourself as comfortable as possible. We're going to move through a guided meditation where we focus on breath, body, and the present moment. So take a minute or so to get yourself into the most comfortable position. Once you have arrived in a comfortable position for rest and practice, allow yourself to release into the support. So either release back into your chair, into the seat of your chair, or release into the ground. Let your exhales become an invitation to soften the body and take support on the floor, the chair, the props, everything that is supporting your body. Let yourself take support on all of those objects. Notice your breathing. Take a moment to become acquainted with your breathing. Maybe you notice tension in the ribs, the rhythm of your breath. Maybe you notice how your exhale invites softness in. I want you now to draw your awareness to your fingers and the toes. I'm going to invite you to begin wiggling your fingers and your toes. I want you to feel yourself moving your fingers and your toes. As you do this, I want you to begin to make the movement as small as possible. So as you're wiggling your fingers and your toes, you're going to reduce the movement so that as you're moving and wiggling the fingers and the toes, that movement becomes so small that if someone was watching you, they would not be able to see that you are moving at all. Notice how this task engages your consciousness. Continue moving your fingers and your toes, trying to make that movement almost entirely imperceivable. As we move through the rest of this practice, this is a tool you are welcome to return to if you notice your mind wandering away from the practice and towards thoughts in your head or things happening around you. Feel free to let that go and return to noticing your breath. Each time you exhale, I'd like for you to invite the space between your eyebrows to soften. Invite your cheeks to soften. Allow your exhale to soften the tip of your tongue, the root of your tongue at the back of the throat. Allow your exhales to soften the whole face. Allow your exhales to soften both eyes. Allow your exhales to soften both ears. Allow your exhales to soften the whole head. Allow your exhales to soften the whole neck, the back, the sides, the front. And now the right shoulder, elbow, wrist, right hand, thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, pinky finger. The left shoulder, elbow, wrist, hand, thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, pinky finger. The upper back, the shoulder blades, the mid back, the lower back, the right ribs, waist, right hip, left ribs, waist, left hip. Allow your exhales to soften the upper portion of your right leg, right knee, lower leg, right ankle, foot, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, pinky toe. The upper portion of your left leg, left knee, lower leg, ankle, foot, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, pinky toe. The whole face, the whole head and face, the whole torso, the whole right arm, the whole left arm, the whole right leg, the whole left leg, the whole body, the whole body. And you can let that go. Just notice where your mind is. What is your conscious awareness present with? Are you present with yourself, your practice? Is your mind wandering or listening to thoughts in your head? If your mind and your conscious awareness is attaching to something other than your practice, I invite you to welcome your conscious awareness back towards the body, as if you are welcoming an old friend you haven't seen in a very long time. Allow your awareness to remain present with this practice. Draw your awareness now to the heart space. In this space, we're going to send love to ourselves. So you can either imagine yourself sending out love and it coming back into your heart space. Maybe it's the word love or a phrase that you send out and it comes back into you. Or maybe it's a visualization. Maybe you see hearts or a color that symbolizes love for you. Or maybe there's a visualization of a childhood pet or a childhood friend or someone who is very near and dear to you. I want you to imagine love being sent out of you and coming back into your heart space. Do this for yourself. We'll spend about a minute or so sending love to ourselves. And then we're going to let that go. And I want you to do your best to just rest back into awareness. So doing your best to allow any thoughts that arrive to be present, but to invite yourself to not engage with those thoughts. Allowing those thoughts to sort of float by, as if you are seated on a park bench and you are watching clouds move across the sky. Can you allow yourself to just simply be? You don't have to do anything. You don't have to think anything. You're welcome to just simply exist. letting any thoughts pass by. Maybe you take a moment now to just notice the effect of practice. We're going to begin to move out of practice. So I invite you to take a nice slow inhale through the nose and a nice slow exhale either through the nose or out the mouth. And then I'm going to invite you to slowly blink the eyes open 5 or 6 times, so that on the 5th or 6th blink, you bring the eyes to open. And we meet back in this space, in this room where you are practicing. You're welcome to either close the eyes once more or open the eyes so we can quietly reflect on some questions. The first question is, how do you feel after completing this practice? Did your thoughts wander? What did you do to bring your thoughts back to the practice? And can you set a goal for the next time you do a practice? Spend a minute or two silently reflecting, giving yourself an opportunity to become acquainted with your practice and how the practice impacts you. All right. So now I'm going to stop recording and stop sharing. I'll probably share for a little bit, but I will eventually stop sharing the slides so we can begin to have a discussion. You're welcome to unmute yourself or write responses in the chat. So today we're going to discuss, was there anything you enjoyed doing? Is there anything you would like to see us do in a future class? Is there anything you think I could do differently to improve the class? And was there anything that you enjoyed doing?